You think staying quiet makes you easier to love, but you're not keeping the peace, you are starving the relationship. And he doesn't even know it's happening. I'm Melissa, I'm a GP and a certified coach. I am going to explain to you why staying quiet feels like the safe option, why it's actually the thing that is slowly emptying the relationship. I'm going to show you where this pattern comes from, talk about what it costs you, not just in the relationship, but in your sense of self. I'm going to tell you what happens when you ask, because the answer might surprise you. And this is not about being more demanding. It's about understanding why you go quiet and what becomes possible when you let yourself be known. If you grew up only feeling worthy when you were providing something, staying quiet, being polite, putting others first, achieving, then having needs feels dangerous to you. Because somewhere along the way, you learned that having needs meant one of several things. It meant that you were a burden, that you were selfish for wanting more, that needing something made you weak and weakness was something to be ashamed of, and maybe somewhere in the background, you absorbed this idea that the most lovable woman is the one who needs the least, the one who goes with the flow, the one who never asks. So a need doesn't just feel like a need to you. It feels like evidence of everything you learned was wrong with you. So when a need rises up inside of you and you consider asking for it, something happens in your body. Your heart starts to race, you start to feel panicky, because asking for that need doesn't just feel like asking, it feels like a test. And the fear underneath it is, this is when he decides that I am too much. This is when he finds someone easier. And this fear gets louder the better the relationship is. Because when he is already good to you, kind, stable, present, a part of you thinks, I am so lucky. I don't want to push it. I don't want to be the one that ruins everything. Underneath those thoughts, there's usually something more specific. There is usually fear that the love he has for you is based on an incomplete picture that he has of you. That at some point he is going to come to his senses that there are so many other women out there who are more graceful, more emotionally stable, easier to love, and it's only a matter of time before he sees that. But here's what makes this particular fear so complicated. Because he has seen you, not a curated version of you, not the version that you carefully present to the world, because he has seen you at your most intense, most explosive, most emotionally overwhelming. He has seen the parts that you were taught were too much, and he is still there, he is still choosing you, and he is still loving you. Instead of that being proof that you are lovable, your subconscious turns it into a debt. He has already dealt with you with so much grace that asking for more feels like overdrawing from an account that you already feel lucky to have. Like you've used up your allowance just for being yourself. So you go quiet, you swallow your need, and you call it gratitude. But it's not gratitude. It's the unworthiness wound coming up. Because when you interpret your desire for more as proof that something is wrong with you, when wanting more feels like evidence that you are bad, that you are greedy, that you are too much, then staying silent isn't just about fear of his reaction. It's about what asking reveals to you about yourself. And that is a much harder thing to sit with. So you swallow the need again and you tell yourself that you're lucky. But here's the trap. Not asking doesn't feel safe either. It feels suffocating. It feels like you are slowly disappearing in the relationship. Like there is a version of you that nobody sees, the one that has wants, needs, edges, and so you feel trapped because asking is terrifying, but not asking is suffocating. And you've been choosing to feel suffocated because at least that way, nobody leaves the relationship. Here's what I want you to consider. Your needs aren't a threat to the relationship, they are what keeps it alive. Think about it this way. Just like a body needs consistent nourishment to stay healthy, not just once, not just when it's convenience, a relationship needs the same. Without it, it doesn't collapse overnight. It just gradually becomes less and less alive. And here's what that emptiness can feel from the inside. And I am not talking about the big dramatic moments. I am talking about the ordinary day-to-day. It can feel like a hollowness in your chest. Sometimes it can feel like this big empty hole that is sitting right in the center of your chest. Other times it can just feel like this numbness, this flatness, as if something is missing, but you don't really know what. And because he is still there, he is still choosing you, he's still kind to you, you tell yourself that you have no right to feel this way. But the problem is, this only makes this emptiness feel even worse. Because your needs aren't just fuel to the relationship, your needs are your coordinates to your own authentic self. They are how you know who you are, what you want from this life, what drives you, what matters to you. When you silence your needs for a long time, you don't just lose your connection to your partner, you lose your connection to your own sense of self. You lose your sense of direction. And from that depleted place, another thing can happen. When he meets a need, even if it's a small one, even if it's accidentally, it feels enormous. It feels disproportionately significant. And that is because you've been starving yourself of your own needs for so long that a little crumb can feel like a feast. And that distortion can be dangerous because it can make you stay grateful for far less than you deserve. It can make you confuse relief with fulfillment. When only one person's needs exist in a relationship, it can make it seem like it's making the relationship easier, but instead it's just making the relationship more hollow. That relationship becomes a performance. When you stay silent about what you need, you aren't protecting the relationship. You are slowly withdrawing from it. And that distance that you feel, that subtle loneliness, even when he is right there, that is not a sign that there is something wrong with him or with you. That is what a relationship feels like when it's being starved. Your silence isn't keeping the peace, it's just keeping you invisible. Now, here's the part that people often miss. When you don't ask for what you need, you are making a decision for both of you. You are deciding in advance that he can handle it, that he will leave, that he will think that you are too much. But the truth is, you don't actually know that. You are protecting yourself from a rejection that hasn't happened yet. And in doing so, you are denying him the chance to show you who he really is. And he deserves that chance. Because here is what's possible. He might be able to meet your needs. He might actually want to meet your needs. There are men who, when the woman they love asks them for something, they feel trusted, they feel closer to her, they feel like they are in a partnership. And if he can't meet your needs, if he is dismissive, if he is unwilling, or if he makes you feel like asking was wrong, that is also important information. And it can be information that can save you years, but you will never know which one he is if you never ask. Asking for what you need isn't demanding, it isn't needy, and it isn't being too much. It's honestly the bravest and most honest thing you can do for a relationship, because it says, I trust this enough to be real in it. I trust you enough to let you see me, and I trust myself enough to tune into what I need and honor it. Look, the fear will still be there when you ask. Your heart is still going to race. You are probably still going to feel panicky, but ask anyway. That is not weakness. That is you showing up for yourself and for your relationship. And here's what I would like to share about what happens after. If he meets you there, if he listens, if he shows up, if he makes you feel like your needs were never too much, then something shifts. Not just in your relationship, but in yourself too. Because for maybe the first time, you have evidence that your needs don't drive people away, that you are not a burden, you are not too much, you are simply someone who knows what she wants. And that is not a flaw, that is self-knowledge. And in my opinion, it is one of the most attractive things a person can offer a relationship. Now, if he doesn't meet you there, if he is dismissive, if he makes you feel like asking was wrong, or if he is simply unable to give you what you need because you are not aligned, that will hurt. especially because deep down, underneath all of that fear, you were hoping that he would show up. And that hope was real, and so the disappointment is also real. But you know what else is real? The clarity that you will get from this. Because now you know. And knowing, even when it's painful, it's better than the slow suffocation of never asking. With time, that clarity becomes its own kind of liberation. Because you won't spend years in a relationship that was never going to hold you. You won't keep shrinking for someone who was never going to see you anyway. Either way, whether he shows up or he doesn't, asking is the beginning of freedom. Because the moment you ask, you are no longer choosing to suffocate. You are choosing yourself, and that changes everything. Not just in your romantic relationship, but also in your relationship with yourself. If you find it hard to tell the difference between the fear that is trying to protect you and the part of you that actually knows what you need right now, I made something for you. It's a free guide called The Two Voices. It helps you start separating those two voices so you can begin to trust yourself enough to speak. The link is below.